here, and today we are playing Astroneers. It's a new game that's in pre-alpha. A buddy of mine named Your New Stepdaddy, who you might have seen in other videos from ARC, bought it for me for Christmas. It's kind of like Space Engineers, only not as in-depth, but it's still pretty fun. It's kind of... You still have a little bit of glitchiness and there's just some bugs, but you know, like I said, it's in pre-alpha still, so they've got a lot of kinks to work out. So we're kind of play testing it for them. So anyway, when you come into the game, you're put into this menu, even though there's not really much of a menu because there's no, like, I can't change options. I also can't log out once I'm at this point. I literally have to go into the game and click on quit to desktop in order to exit the game. If I wanted to leave from this part, I'd have to hit Alt F4. So anyway, this is a save that I was playing with Your New Stepdaddy on my Twitch. So I'm gonna start a new game so I can do this little bit of a tutorial. So I'm gonna also, the game is procedurally generated, so everything that you see right now on this planet surface, this is the planet I'm gonna play on. Like there's no cut load from where I'm at now to actually into the game. And you can see a planet that's orbiting, or a moon that's orbiting the planet that I'm about to land on. And if you notice, it has the same kind of terrain features that this one is, because you can land on all of the different planets too. So we're gonna go ahead and launch our pod. You can see the station a little bit. Hi, space station. I will see you never again. And we come into the atmosphere and we plop down on the surface. And then bloop. Okay. Now as you notice, the terrain underneath my landing pod changed to gray. Well, this terrain will not go away even with my digging tool. Like it'll kind of eat a little bit, but it will not go away. See, it kind of makes it permanent. So it's kind of like a blocker saying, hey, you can't dig this up. This is good. Leave it alone. That kind of stuff. So go ahead and I'll fix this terrain. I have no power. So anyway, this is the backpack that you sorry. I don't know if you can upgrade the backpack, but it has 8 different inventory slots, and it also has 2 expansions for you to expand your equipment that you use, your gear. And if you notice, this little yellow bar is going slowly up while I'm not using anything, and then as I'm using my pack, it's going down, because that is your battery. That's your battery and your power. The bar across the top that's slowly going down, that's blue, that's your oxygen. And you hear that hissing sound because when I approach the landing pod and I have the tether that reconnects to it, oxygen's flowing from my landing pod to my character, and your landing pod will supply you with an infinite amount of oxygen. It will never go down as long as you're attached to it. You see these little white bulbs out in the distance? Those are compound, which is the first mineral that you really need to gather, that you can make tethers and not satellite dishes, but solar panels. So, and this is your build menu right here. You hit Q to bring up your backpack, and you have this little build menu right here that shows you the different things that you can build, like beacons and wind vanes and solar panels and batteries and tethers, and it tells you the compound or the ore that you need to make those objects. We're going to go ahead and we're going to run out and get some compound. Hopefully we won't run out of oxygen or energy. I mean, we're going to run out of power because power gets consumed really quickly. We got 1 compound, 2 compounds. We will quickly make a solar panel. Hopefully the sun won't, I mean the sun's setting, but hopefully I can gather some of that energy before it goes away. And we'll also make some tethers. Tethers are quite important because they will help me keep connected to my base from a distance. I'm kind of ignoring my oxygen threats. Okay, I have no power, so I might as well run back. It's gonna pop up and say 25% oxygen. Oh no! Alright. So it says hit T to place tether. So we will... That is a tether, and you see the little clear blue? That's the tether line, or where the tether line is going to be. So if I move it any farther out, see how it goes away? That means if I place it down, there's not going to be a tether attached. So we move it in. Boop. Yay, tether. We will continuously tether ourselves out so that we will not run out of oxygen. Your character will slowly rebuild energy no matter what, but very slowly. He'll consume it quickly. He'll rebuild it slowly, so no power. And it'll slowly recharge. But we're gonna go ahead and we will build a beacon. And we will build 2 more solar panels. And if you notice, as I build the solar panels, they automatically attach to the expansion slots. You can change these out too for like your beacon or your tethers. I always recommend keeping your tethers in your upper left shoulder, because when you are wandering around and like I tethered out to there, well, when I go to when I want to remove the tethers, I hold down shift and I click on it, that tether's automatically put in the left shoulder. But if I didn't have my default tethers there and I had like my solar panel there, that tether that I just picked up would just disappear into nothing. It's one of the bugs. So be careful of that if you decide to play this. Those tethers are invaluable. So be careful not to waste them when you go to pick them up. The solar panels that are on the back of the bag, right here in these slots, these are not going to gather any energy. The only things that will gather energy is the ones in the expansion slots. The reason why I built this one is so I can attach it to my base. This will gather energy, but only so long as the sun is on this side of the landing pod. The other thing, the reason why I do that is because as my base gathers energy, if it's not consuming it, it will feed it to you, and it will actually feed it to you no matter what, so long as it is receiving it. Because there is a chain of events, or a sequence in which power is distributed through the base. The first place it's distributed is to the player, so the player will consume the energy before any of the expansion modules. And then the precedence is in whichever order that the modules are built and placed. And I will get into that when I get into base building. But first I'm just gathering resources. From the resources you have compound, which you saw is this, just, you know, it's compound. It's just fabric. I don't even really know what it is, but it's compound. It's one of the resources. It's the most common resource that you can find on the surface everywhere. Then you have this compound, which is resin, and it's a this resource, which is resin. It's a very, very, very important resource too. I will show you why in just a little bit after I collect some of it. Out of power now already. Okay, well, I got 2. I need to get at least... I need to get as much as I can get. Granted, I can only get 2 more. Okay, here's a trick. So you have these 8 slots, which means you can only carry 8 items, right? Well, there's a trick to your build menu. So if I go over to something that can, like, uses the compound, well, this takes one of the items out of my inventory and drops it down into the build menu. And as I change it over, it pulls it up and down. Well, I want to leave it here so that it frees up an inventory slot. Because it's just chilling in the build menu. It's not building anything. And that way it's not consuming the inventory spot. It gives you, and it's just one of those tricks that lets you carry one more thing. And when you can only carry 10 objects, because remember, these are inventory slots too up here. Every little bit counts. So now, instead of just carrying 10 objects, I can carry 11 by taking advantage of the build menu. That's it, right? Yeah, that's it. I don't want to gather anymore. We'll go back to our base. And I will then show you how to build a base in the next video, but that's just landing on the planet's surface, gathering resources, and a little bit of tutorial on how to place your tethers. One of the tricks that I like to do when placing tethers is, sometimes I do it forward like this, but when I'm just running around, I'll bring the tether behind me like this. That way when the tether drops off of my person, I'll know to drop the tether, because as soon as it drops off of me, I can place it down and it will stay tethered. An amount of tethers. And that's just a way to be able to quick fire, to be able to run someplace and keep the tether. Anyway, this has been Incredible Hulk playing Astroneers. Please like and subscribe. Send me a comment. Tell me what you want me to do. You can check out my Twitch, which I used to Twitch religiously, but I haven't been twitching a whole lot lately, but still check it out. Anyway, thank you. Like and subscribe and enjoy.